Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shem Shabbat, Shem Kakadash, Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. There's going to be a super quick one, and I'm going to entitle this video, This Subject Will Come Up Until This Subject is Manifested. So you can see here, this was put up today. This is IUIC events, shout out Tuesdays. 3 Abrahamic houses uniting the world in sin. So we're right here in 39 minutes, 37 seconds in of a 1 hour, 31, almost 32, 1 hour, almost 32 minute video. And this is somewhat from another video. The individual sounds like African descent. And I believe I caught this video in the past. Could be wrong. But anyway, it's the individual speaks about the one world religion. He mentions the Antichrist, and which is not, there's no such thing as a Antichrist. There's a spirit of Antichrist. And then he mentions the MOTB, and you see this picture here. So let me do this. Let me I'll X that out. Okay, so this is right here when Bishop Nate comes in after he shows that clip from this video that you just saw. So I'm gonna pick it up from here. Because we break it down the right way. We break it down the right way. And you know, the world is gonna find out that what the MOTB actually is. And it's what we say it is through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Hashem Kakadash. So let's just listen. I'm not going to make this long.
God's commandments, whether it's through the venue of religion or politics, whether it's through the venue of sin, breaking. I've been telling you for a while, the mark of the beast of the question came up. They have the mark. Now, the question came up, what is the mark of the beast?
Right, I'm pretty sure he's been questioned about this topic in Revelation 13 for a while. It keeps coming up. They keep asking the questions because they window shop. I don't know who is window shopping, what individuals are window shopping. What I mean by that is they're going to other, YouTube pages such as GMS, because GMS constantly brings up this subject on the MOTB, and it's clear that we break it down very differently from the way Bishop Nathaniel breaks it down. And like I said, we're going to stand on the way we break it down. And, at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, we're going to be correct. And this subject keeps coming up because it's right around the corner. It's in the process. The CBDC is part of it. So let's listen to a little bit more.
I've been telling you for a while, the mark of the beast is sin, breaking God's commandments, whether it's through the venue of religion or politics. Anything that goes against God's commandments in the book of Revelation, it is called the mark of the beast. Okay. But let me give you the flip side of that. When you read Ezekiel chapter 9, let me get it. Ezekiel, let me find it, bear with me a second. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And it reads, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. You see that? So this mark here, okay, is for the righteous. The mark of the Most High God is those that keep the commandments. They were sealed, marked from dying and being destroyed. Okay, that's what Ezekiel 9 is for, and 4:7. Now, when you get to Revelation, let's get there. This is the flip side of the coin. Revelation chapter 13. Because you may ask the question, how could they force us to worship or break God's commandments? Oh, watch through fear of death, like they did in the book of Maccabees. Now we're going to touch on all that. Look at Revelation 13 and I'll start at 16. Watch this. No, I'll start at 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That's the white man's image. Worship his image. That the image of the beast should both speak. They got that image of Jesus speaking through their television, through their media, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You were killed. Okay. Now that happened during the Spanish Inquisition, especially. Okay. But you may be asking, what about now, today, in these days and times? Watch this. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, meaning they support it, or in their foreheads, meaning in your mind, because you believe it. Okay.
So now the word mark in Revelation 13 is charagma. You can look that up. It's from the Greek. And the word mark in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4 is the Hebrew word thawa, which is not an actual physical mark as opposed to the mark in Revelation 13. Thawa just means exempt from judgment. To give you a perfect example, the first Passover in Egypt, the Most High told Moses to tell the children of Israel to take the blood of the lamb and put it on the doorpost. So what was that blood on the doorpost? That was a mark. It was a sign. So when the death angel came over and he saw that that blood on the doorpost, no harm came to that house. Remember, it spoke about the firstborn. So the mark in Ezekiel is different. It's a completely different word from the mark in Revelation. In other words, the mark in Ezekiel is not the, in other words, the Greek way of saying it. No, let me say it this way. I'm sorry, I'm getting, twisted in my speech. Let's deal with the mark in Revelation. The mark in Revelation, if it was translated into Hebrew, the word would be, I believe it's kwai, if I'm not mistaken. I hadn't gone through this in a while, but I believe the word is kwai, which means like something printed, like the Hebrew equivalent to the Greek word charagma. So you can't compare Revelation 13 with Ezekiel 9. So let's listen on.
Okay. So now we know in terms of nations and countries, what does America do? Okay. If you do not follow America's policies, I'll use that terminology, their policies, what happens? Watch verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. What does America do? They put embargoes on countries and nations. They put sanctions, no trade allowed, no buying or selling. Now let's bring that up to us. Let's say we, here in America, you don't go along with the one world religion. You don't want to follow along with that. Let's read it again. And then no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. What mark? The mark of sin. Or the name of the beast. The name of the beast is Babylon the Great, the United States of America. or the number of his name. What's the number of his name? Watch the next verse. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. What man? The white man. And his number is 666. That's the number of destruction. Okay. So unless you follow his policies, whether political policies or religious policies, you won't be able to buy or sell. Now, you said that's impossible. I want you to think back a year or two ago during the time of COVID. What did they do to people that did not take the vaccine? A lot of them were terminated. You couldn't even travel. Y'all remember that? So don't think it's too far-fetched. Okay, do not think it's too far-fetched what I'm showing you. So just as the mark in the book of Ezekiel chapter 9 is keeping God's commandments, so likewise here in Revelation 13, the flip side, the mark of the beast is sin, breaking God's commandments, whether politically or religiously. I hope y'all understand that.
So a question, how would they know if you got on the plane, how would they know whether you're a sinner or not a sinner? If you have to go someplace on a plane from, say, America to France, you're part of the IUIC or GMS or whatever, and you say, I'm not going to take the MOTB, I'm not going to sin. When you check in to go on that departing flight, how do they know whether you committed sin or not? Are they going to ask you, did you commit sin today? Because you can lie, which is a sin anyway. You can lie and say, yes, I did commit a sin. Or no, I didn't commit a sin. If you say, no, I didn't commit a sin today or yesterday, and I'm not planning on committing a sin tomorrow, then you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, you can't get on this flight. You get on a taxi or Uber, you can't get in the Uber, you can't get in the taxi. You want to go to a restaurant and eat something, and that's what they did. He used a good example about the Crown Vicky, the vaccination, and that was a dry run, a test to see how people will react to it, because it is going to be an actual thing that they're going to put inside you. Because like I said, how do they know are they going to you go to BJ's, somebody going to stand there and they're going to say, did you commit sin today? Yes, I did commit sin. Okay, you can go buy it. How about you, sir? No, I haven't committed sin today. You can't buy today. If you commit sin, later on you can come back. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That makes about as much sense as a lake of fire being hell and you burning forever. Let's listen on. And it's going to keep coming up. This question is going to keep coming up, especially when they introduce the world to this system. And it is a physical system. Charagma is a physical thing.
And the way that they're going to try to force the people to submit is that you would not be able to buy or sell. They would have a new form of currency, digital.
Okay, good. He's seeing it. He's seeing it. Hand clap. He's seeing it. And we've been saying that it's going to start off as a digital currency. Now, this goes into I was going to do a video on it earlier, but I wasn't really in the mindset. And I was watching Moatazak. He did a video. He was going into this same subject, and it prompted me to want to do the video, but I didn't do it. I did like more of a basic video. But brothers and sisters got into the video. It's more of a basic video I got into. But I was going into smart. What did I go before smart cities? 15. What do they call it? 15-minute cities, I think they call it. And they're trying to roll it out in Oxford, England. If you look it up, you'll see protesters out there saying we don't want the 15-minute cities, meaning you can get everything within 15 minutes. Like if you want to go to the movie, it's within 15 minutes of walking or riding your bike because they plan to do away with cars. That's the ultimate goal. You don't have to go 2 hours anywhere. Everything that you need is within 15 minutes within your walking distance or biking distance. So I was reading articles on that, and then I wanted to let me to go. The spirit led me to go into the word smart cities, because ultimately that 15-minute city will be a smart city, and the blood or the backbone of a smart city is its internet. You know, you go into smart cities. You go into the term I O I what is it? IOAT or IoT, I believe. Internet of all things. IoT or IOAT. So, 15-minute cities go hand in hand with smart cities, and you have to be online to do it. That's why it's in the process right now. What they call cryptocurrency, which is a digital currency, which is called the CBDC. We spoke about that. In these 15-minute cities are also known as your smart cities, your AOTs, your Internet of Things. Right, that's it, Internet of Things. I put in Internet of All Things. The all things represent you being in it, you having the charagma up in you. So everything's going to go digital, and then you're going to get a QR code, and then eventually that information that's in your smartphone is going to go into your right hand or your forehead, or both. Some people might want to have both, and that's how you're going to conduct business in a 15-minute city slash smart city slash IoT, Internet of Things. So, he's speaking on it. So he sees the steps, but he doesn't see the final step. Let's come back. So Bishop Nate is beginning to see what we've been seeing for years. Let's listen on.
A6. That's the number of destruction. Okay. So unless you follow his policies, whether political policies or religious policies, you won't be able to buy or sell. Now, you said that's impossible. I want you to think back a year or two ago during the time of COVID. What did they do to people that did not take the vaccine?
It was a test run. Because you had to have that card that you took the test. Now they're arresting people that had a fake, they were putting out fake cards so people can still work on their jobs and go into restaurants. And you had fights breaking out. Now I went into one hood in the Bronx. I went to one of them chicken, Mama Fried Chicken, Texas Fried Chicken, whatever. I don't go there no more. But I went in there and they had like a camera, some type of device up there, and there was a sign next to it said, "You cannot order unless you have the Maxine card." Man, people going in there ordering shit, not showing them a damn thing, because them Israelites knew Jake was gonna tear shit up, But if you went down to like Midtown Manhattan, there were certain people that came in from out of town and they were turned away from going into restaurants. So that was a dry run for what they're gonna do now. Hey, this ain't nothing but what's it? The Black Mirror. What's the episode? I believe it's season 2, episode 13, if I'm not mistaken. If you put in, excuse me, if you go to Google, you put in not Google, YouTube, you put in Black Mirror, and you say the airport scene. That's what they're gonna. That's what's coming down the pipe. But you're not gonna have a smartphone. You're gonna stick your hand out, and all the information's gonna be on your hand. You know, your right hand, your left hand, your butt cheek, your forehead. So let's listen to a little bit more.
A lot of them were terminated. You couldn't even travel. Y'all remember that? So I don't think it's too far.
Now, I have men in the New York GMS camp that they were confronted by their employers saying they had to get it. And they would come back to me, what do I do to her? He said, I'm gonna lose my job. I said, well, get another job. Tell them that you ain't gonna get it. They all went back. And guess what? I believe some of them just left. They said, the hell with this. But the ones that said wanted to stay with their jobs, they kind of kept them, they kind of, let them have their jobs, but they might look at them funny. And then everything, now everything is so to speak back to normal. And they're going to bring this C ragamuffin up again. But they may bring a stronger, a different, different Myris. I'm not even going to say those words, but they're gonna do something to kind of get the people to want to do it. They got a lot of people to take the vaccination out of fear. They use fear tactics. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Far-fetched. Okay, do not think it's too far-fetched what I'm showing you. So, just as the mark in a book in Ezekiel chapter 9 is keeping God's commandments, so likewise here in Revelation 13, the flip side, the mark of the beast is sin, breaking God's commandments, whether politically or religiously.
And we're going to see, like I said, I'm going to say this again. How do they know whether you sinned today or, oh, I didn't sin today, but I sinned yesterday? Well, you, sir, you should have came to this place of established business. There you go. Now you go out there and you commit a sin, you steal a lady's purse, and you could come in, we'll get it on camera. Oh, you just snatched a woman's purse. Okay, now you can come in and buy. No, it's not talking about that.
I hope y'all understand that. And the way that they're going to try to force the people to submit is that you would not be able to buy or sell. They would have a new form of currency, digital currency, wherein they could shut you down at any moment, at any time. Okay? That's what it's talking about. That's how they're going to force people to do what they want by playing with your money. And it's going to be a new digital currency, as I've been showing y'all. Okay, so
for the record, he's just speaking about it, and we've been talking about this for the longest. We've been talking about this for the longest. When the Bitcoin came out, we've been saying that everything's going to be digital.
It's not no microchip. The mark of the beast is not a microchip. The mark of the beast is sin.
The MOTB is what we say it is. And he's going to have to explain it. He's going to have to explain it to his followers. And I'm not cursing the man out. I'm not calling him a knucklehead, a demon. Like I said, we're trying to be a kinder, gentler GMS, for the sake of Asaph. What we're saying is true. And he's going to have to do a lot of explain. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining to do, Lucy. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining. You're going to have to explain it. They're going to come to you. They're saying, I got to take this injection with this device, this right thing the size of a grain of rice. Oh, I can't keep my job. And they said, we're dead serious. He said, you got to do it today or you leave and don't come back. But people are going to do it. It's going to start with classes. It's going to start with the police. It's going to start with then the military, fire people, nurses, doctors, people that work for government. And then it's going to go to the private sector. So it's a world thing. It's a world thing.
Breaking God's commandments. That's what it is. All right, brothers. All right, sisters. I've been telling y'all. I've been warning y'all. So now, I want y'all to take a look at this next clip that shows you how similar Islam, Catholicism, and Judaism is.
Okay, that goes into another spirit, another different topic in a way. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.